Lesson 24. Occasions and Sources of Sin. What are the near occasions of sin? The near occasions of sin are all persons, places, or things that may easily lead us into sin. Most common occasions of sin. Bad companions. One who provokes or leads us into sin is not our friend. We must stop going with that companion. One rotten apple in a basket of good apples quickly rots the rest. The same is true of human beings. Sin is a contagious disease. If we do not wish to be infected, we must go far away from it. Dance halls. Not every dance is sinful, but many dances are occasions of sin, and public dances without the presence of respectable adults are extremely dangerous. A safe rule to follow is never go to any place where you would be ashamed to take your virtuous mother or sister. In many dances, the women tend to dress with extravagance and immodesty, just to follow the fashion. Sometimes, too, dances are an occasion for the taking of liberties, due to late hours and the spirit of unrestrained pleasure. Bars and liquor saloons. These are very proximate occasions of sin, leading to intemperance and worse evils. Those who frequent saloons are likely to be not only habitual drunkards, but constant gamblers, who neglect their homes and duties, become involved in disputes, and finally end badly even in the temporal sense. Bad newspapers and magazines. These are no less dangerous because their wickedness is often not apparent, many hiding their evil under the guise of cleverness, information, science, art, etc. Bad periodicals gradually undermine faith and make one insensitive to evil. It is the duty of every Catholic to subscribe to a Catholic periodical and never to favour a wicked press. Bad books. Many novels are harmless, some are very helpful, but many are positively wicked. We must be very careful in the selection of the books we read. Poisonous food will only kill the body, but poisonous reading kills the soul. Motion pictures, radio, and television. Pope Pius XII taught that the modern media of communication, films, radio, and television, are remarkable inventions of man's genius, but at the same time, gifts from God. As such, they are good in themselves and intended by God to be useful to man. Today, more than a few motion pictures are immoral and indecent. We must, therefore, choose only the good and avoid altogether objectionable films. How should we act towards occasions of sin? We should never seek and always try to avoid occasions of sin. It is wrong voluntarily to seek the occasions of sin. He that loveth the danger shall perish in it. However, those who by their calling or other necessity are continually exposed to such dangerous occasions, as priests, officials, doctors, and others, must put their trust in God, who will give them grace and protect them. We must avoid occasions of sin as soon as we perceive them. If one goes to the theatre and sees that the play is an indecent play, he must stand up and leave. What are the chief sources of actual sin? The chief sources of actual sin are pride, covetousness, lust, anger, gluttony, envy, and sloth, and these are commonly called capital sins. They are called capital from the Latin caput, which means head, because they are the heads or sources of all sins. Thus they originate sins of luxury, gossip, excessive ambition, etc. They are called capital sins not because they are the greatest sins in themselves, but because they are the chief reasons why men commit sin. They are the origin of every sin, all other sins arising from them as from their fountainhead. These sins are called vices because they produce permanent disorders in the soul. They are the 7 fatal diseases of the soul, which end in death. Does God punish sin? Yes, God punishes sin partly in this life, but chiefly after death. In this life sinners suffer from remorse of conscience, fear, and unhappiness. Their sin often brings upon them disease or death, the hatred and scorn of their fellow men, and other temporal punishments. Even on earth, the wages of sin is death. The punishment of the sinner is fully meted out to him only after death. Then the unrepentant sinner is punished in hell. Justice is not always done in this world, where the wicked often prosper and the just are made to suffer. On earth, God rewards the sinner for whatever good he may do. It is only in the next life that the evil he does is given its full and just punishment.